Hey, welcome to Forest County, Pennsylvania and the Forest County Outback channel. Before we get into today's video, I want to send out some thank yous to people who have helped make this channel a reality and a success. First of all, to you guys, the viewers and our subscribers. We're actually coming up on 500 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot compared to other channels, but I always thought this would be a channel of just kind of local interest. I didn't think we would get viewers and subscribers from all over the states, Canada and Europe. I don't like to use this word too much, but that's awesome, actually. And, you know, I appreciate the comments, getting a lot of good feedback on that, good vibes from those and the likes. And also like to thank the staff of the Sarah Bavard Memorial Library in Tynesta. I do a lot of research there. They've been very helpful. They also lined me up with the person who had the technical know-how to actually get this channel on YouTube. I don't want to say their name without permission, but hey, you know who you are. Thanks. And I know we were supposed to do some work last week, but life happens. I couldn't make it. Check your email. I'll send you one about next week. Maybe we can get together and work on that and some stuff. Also, the Forest County Historical Society, I've got a lot of encouragement from them and been able to do some research there. Also, people like Glenn Basil Jr., he's provided the original music for our intros. My son Levi has come up with some good ideas. He's helped with research, occasionally helps with the camera work, and been a good sounding board. But mostly my wife. She has been an enthusiastic supporter of this from the start, I think, mainly because Sue Ellen realized if I didn't have something that would get me out of the house more often, I would be hanging around and just annoying her to no end. So she just was like right on board with this thing. So thanks a lot, honey. I love you, babe. So today we're going to take a break from looking at sawmills. We're going to look at some other stuff. We're going down into the valley of Little Coon Creek. Now, Little Coon starts up at, the headwaters are at Guytonville, and it flows west about 6 miles to a junction with Tynesta Creek at Nebraska. Now, this stream has a very complex history, and we'll be making other videos out here, but today we're going to focus on this one little stretch of stream, and we're going to look at the Fox Creek Tramway, an old farmstead. We're going to look for the site of a logging camp. That's today, part one. Next week, we're going to look at a old abandoned oil lease. It has some really old, neat equipment left on it. So today is Forest County Outback number 20, the Fox Creek Junction, part one. So there's Fox Creek over there, and that flow goes that way towards Little Coon. And this right here is an old logging spur. It's technically not part of the Fox Creek Tram. It was a spur that came off of that and went up this valley. This is how they hauled the logs out of here. This is Fox Creek. Fantastic how clear the water is. So this is the site of that farmstead, and it may have been used as pasture when the logging camp was here. We're not sure. But you can see it's kind of creeping in, and this is only part of it. There are some other fields here But it's the same situation. The pine trees are encroaching on it. Now there should be a cellar hole up that way, or over that way, I think. I don't know. We're gonna walk around up there and take a look. But I have a LiDAR. Again, I finally got that working. And I have, let me show you, I have a photograph, aerial photograph from 1939, when this place was still occupied. The photographs from after World War II, you can tell the place has been abandoned. But it's very hard to see because the resolution on these were not good, and this is a copy. But it looked like there was a building over here. We're gonna go see, we're down in this area here. It looked like there was a building here. We're going to go take a look at that. There might be a building here. And the oil lease is over here. And you can see some of the, well, I can see it, some of the features of the oil lease. Now, if we look on LiDAR, okay, we are... See, we're down in this area here. See, there looks like a cellar hole up here. Looks like there's one over here. That building, I said it was over in this way area. I see would be in this area. I don't see anything, any sign of it. No, that would be up in this area because this is a road. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any sign of it. The oil lease is over here. Now, if we look at the slope version of it, okay, we can see the cellar hole here, and the one up here doesn't show, but we'll take a look at that. The oil lease is over here. Nothing really shows up there. Now if we look on the slope, or not, yeah, aspect, that's the other version. Really all you can tell is the field boundaries. You can see this field boundary, and that's really the only thing that really sticks out on this one. So we'll take a walk around and see what we can find. Let's say we're looking at this little spring run here, and there's a brick here, an SS on half a brick. A whole bunch of bricks laying in this stream, and broken goblet, stem missing. And down here looks like we've got some crock, piece of crock. More pieces of crock down through here. This looks decorative. Oh my. Look at that. I'd say this stuff came from the farmhouse. It's pretty fancy for a logging camp. And down here we've got some pieces of china, plate, a saucer over there, all down through here, a bunch of broken pieces of crockery. More crocks. Big chunk right there. all through here. Handle off of something. What it looks like to me is when they abandoned this place, rather than haul stuff out with them, they just chucked it in here. Now I said it looked like a cellar hole. There's definitely a structure here. See these stones, how they're laid out. That bank is dug out. And there's an old woods road right above it. Actually, I don't think that was the hole that was showing up on the LiDAR. I think that was over here, over there. Because there was another, looks like another building over here. Look how this is dug out. Yeah, see all these stones piled up here? There's like a bench here. And then that dug back into the hill. I thought there was something very blurry on the photograph that might have been a building. Another excavation here. Like square, some kind of building here. I said there was a cellar hole, another cellar hole that showed on the LiDAR at the upper end of that field. And here it is. And there's some stone rubble down there, out in front of it. Here's the field. I said on a photo, it looked like there might be a building and out here, and in the photo it was out in the open, and things have grown in now, but here it is. This had to be a barn. And you would not have, houses at that time were not this big. And that was showing on the 1939 aerial photo. So there's a good chance that there were photos of this, actual photos from the ground on this, which, you know, whatever happened to them, who knows. There's some other stones from that over here. This is Little Coon. So that barn was right over there on the other side of those trees. And then look at this along here. I wonder if there wasn't a dam here. I could come back here and spend a whole day just on this farm, I think. I may do that. Try to do some more research, find out some more stuff about it. Nice little orchard here, up close to the barn. Oh, this is part of the Fox Creek Tramway. And we'll talk about that a little bit here when we get further down. Okay, down along the stream, and most of it's washed away, that was the Fox Creek Tram. And it came up here to Fox Creek. And let me explain what I think was happening here in this area. Okay, now let me try to explain what I think was going on here, and hopefully you won't get lost and I won't get too muddled. There were oil wells up in this area in the mid-1860s. In fact, they were located over in that area, and there were some houses in that over there. I've looked over there, I haven't really found any definite signs, but I have seen stuff left over from the wells. So at that point there would have been at least a wagon road coming up here from Nebraska. Now this property was owned by the Fords and Lacey's, and they were the ones who founded Nebraska and built the first mill there. They sold the property to, I had this written down and I forgot the paper. Two partners, one guy was green, I forget the other one. And in around, I want to say 1877, they sold it to Collins and Sanford Holbrook. Now, at that time, the tramway was in operation. Now, it was called a tramway because they didn't use a locomotive, they used horses. So it would actually be planked between the rails so the horses could walk. And the horses would pull empty log cars up the stream, spot them wherever. They would be loaded, and then they were returned to Nebraska by gravity. They would just have a brakeman riding on them. This process was called wildcatting, and it was very dangerous. There were a number of wrecks, fatalities, serious injuries. So in 1885, Collins bought his first locomotive. It was a 13-ton Shay. And we'll talk about that and the adventure it took to get that to Nebraska, because there was no rail connection at that time. But that operated, then they converted the tramway into a railroad, and they actually continued the practice of wildcatting. Now they just had the locomotive would bring empty cars up. It would take loaded cars back, but excess loaded cars would be wildcatted. And they continue to have some serious accidents in that. Now, what I think happened, this farm back over that way that we were looking at, that I believe was the logging camp. It was a pretty fancy for a logging camp. Most logging camps were just double wall planks, and very flimsy because they were only going to be using them a few years. I think the barn and all those foundations, I think that was all part of the logging camp, because this Collins owned most of the land going up Little Coon Creek and beyond. You know, he owned parcels beyond that, and this camp served as a supply hub for probably. This camp was established in 1885, probably for close to 25 years. It served as a supply hub to the other camps, and then there were actually a couple other mills, I believe, up above. We're going to go look for them someday. So this was kind of like, this was like a permanent establishment here. So that's where I think the logging camp was. Now the oil lease is up on this hill over here, and this was a Collins operation too. The other thing about that farm I want to point out, like I said, the Collins operations in Nebraska shut down in 1907 or 1917. Some people continued to live up here, you know, probably well tenders, whatever. So that farm continued to function at least until 1940. They had the aerial photographs. Now the ones I have after World War II, you can tell the place had been abandoned. The signs of the buildings were gone. So let's go up look at that oil lease. Okay, and that will wrap it up. Actually, we'll look at that oil lease in the next episode. So today I will leave you with a view of Nebraska Bridge at high water, always a favorite. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We want to hit that 500 subscriber threshold. Share, comment, like, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.